Alright, hey there everybody, kind of impromptu scheduling here, but I'm ready to do a 1946S roll that we've been working toward for quite a while. This one is reveal number 570. It is a 1946S plastic tube drill. I'm going to go ahead and get it started after my camera decides to come up. Let's see here. Let me see if that works. Get the camera popped up. There we go. Okay. Now we have camera. There we go. Hello, Mr. Adams. Good afternoon, sir. So we have 1946S ready to go. Get all the coins out of the tube here. And here we go. And we're off. Coin number 1. Going to Taco John. 1946S, we're looking for double die obverses. Don't know of any double die reverses. We're looking for the special ball serif mint mark. We're looking for inverted ball serif mint mark. And a number of different RPMs. I'll check the first 10 on the reverse to see what we've got with the reverse and see if there's anything there. And then after that, I'll leave the reverse up to Eric to check when he gets into doing the processing on these. That first coin didn't have anything, so we're going to move on to coin number 2. Coin number 2 now for Mickey. And for Mickey, hello, Arizona Coins, Mr. Adams, Eric, Calipigian, Taco John, Otis. Man, we got a crowd. Oh, look at that. Nice little bit of, appears to be a nice clash working right there. And I don't see any mint mark doubling on this one either. I keep looking around, look at the I, look at the T's and Trust, look at all the way around to the L in Liberty and check out Liberty. Look at the curve on that one. That's a really nice looking clash there. It's interesting nonetheless. Let's check the reverse on this one and see what happened. Looks like we got just a normal strike on there. Normal strike. Taco took a vacation today, and I decided to do a reveal just for his vacation day. How about that? Let's see. Here's one for Jordan. Let's see what Jordan gets here. I have some more reveals that I owe out. I believe 3 more reveals. I'll get those done. Hey, look at that. There's an RPM. There's an RPM for us right there. It's a pretty nice one. I can't really tell you whether or not it's listed because, man, we've got a bunch of these listed. But it's a nice one. You can see it on the upper curve, and you can see it. Actually, I think you might be able to see an extra curve to the upper left on this one. Although that may not be an extra curve. It's definitely a lighter colored line, but it doesn't appear to be raised in any way. So let's keep checking around the periphery for other doubling of any kind, perhaps on this coin. And we have nothing else on the obverse. There's some nice markers for you right there. Something tells me I've seen this before. Number 5, okay. Something tells me I had seen that before. It's a nice looking coin. Hello, Mickey. Let's see. Reverse time. And it doesn't appear we're going to see anything on the reverse on this coin. A little bit of striation. This one's for Jordan. So Jordan's going to get an RPM. First one to do so in this roll. Let's see about coin number 4 here. Cap Morgan Dollar. And Cap Morgan Dollar. Ooh, that's a late die state. The 4, 6, and the date are very worn out. And it's not the coin. It's the die that made the coin that makes the coin look incomplete. And it looks like we have nothing on the reverse here. Moving up now to coin number 5, Crispy. I decided to start this one maybe a little bit early, and that's because Mama wants me to cook. And so I have to go to the grocery store before I can cook, and that's going to take a little bit of time. Alright, that's the same die as the one from before because it has that little teardrop-shaped die crack or die chip above the L of Liberty. I've seen that twice now. It's that little guy right there. It's a little teardrop-shaped die chip right above the L of Liberty. You guys can help me watch for others. Here's number 6, one for Tyler. And Tyler. It looks like a minor split lower serif RPM, but boy, it's going to be hard to identify. Unless we've got some really good markers on here. And in this die state, I would not count on good markers. Got a really weak rim up here around trust. That could actually be an edge clip, like a very, very faint clip that did not get punched all the way. And let's see if it is. It'll be weak right down in here. Kind of a little bit. So it could be a little edge clip. Doesn't really matter much. They don't have any extra value. Well, that one's for Tyler. That's coin number 6. Now coin number 7. We're going to go to Malcolm. And Malcolm gets a nice earlier die state coin. Appears, could be, possibly an RPM. Is this another RPM 5 and I'm just not really seeing it? It could possibly be. Because of the slight bit of damage on the mint mark, it's really kind of hard to tell sometimes when you have a particular die in your hands. Let's see. A little bit of a dot, a little bit of a mark on the back side here. It is another 5. Okay. Mucho appreciated, Eric. It's coin number 7 now. Coin number 8 for Ant. And this is coin number 8. And this one looks like it's probably not an RPM. And as we make our way around, I'm not seeing anything else on this one. Let's check the reverse real quick. Reverse is much earlier than the obverse, which means the reverse at some point was replaced while the obverse was minting coins. Which that just goes to prove that dies are not replaced in pairs. Dies were replaced as each die wore out. Sometimes, if it was late enough and the other die broke or needed to be replaced for some catastrophic reason, they would replace both. But there were times that they would only replace one die and not the other. And you end up with varying die states, obverse to reverse, which is why the die state of one side can help become a marker for the other side. So if I happen to have a double die reverse here, I could say obverse is late die state. And that would help us as a marker in itself. This one's for Eric. It's kind of like saying if you're always with your spouse, and let's say we all had t-shirts on that told everyone our age, and I was looking for you but didn't know what you look like, a helper could be that your spouse was 49 years old, and I see a woman walking with a man and she's wearing a shirt that says 49. That could be the man it goes with. That could be the one I'm looking for. So, there we go. Hello, Copper Owl coins. I watched your $half hunt the other day. I don't know if I was watching it live or if I saw it as a remake, as a what am I trying to say? Just a view. See, there's another one. That one's a RPM, but man, that could be really hard to identify. I'm gonna leave it out anyway, just to see. But anyhow, I was only able to watch for about 10 minutes. About 10 minutes of watching $half. My brain starts to sizzle, and I have to pull it away from the fire. So, yeah, $half make my brain catch on fire. It was one you had I believe a 71D. Hey, look at that. It's a 71D DDO, and then you also had one that you thought might be a no FG reverse, and just from what I could see on your stream, it appeared that it was just a very weak FG. Well, with me, Lincoln Cents, I go to mush after about 4 hours, but when it comes to quarters or dimes or especially nickels or $half, my brain goes to mush after about 5 or 10 minutes. I simply can't subject myself to it. Frosty up next. Let's see what we can find here for Frosty. And for Frosty, we have nothing in the area of the mint mark. And to a certain degree I agree, and to a certain degree I disagree with rifling through the coins just looking for the major ones. And I understand why people do it. I mean, because really they're only interested if it's one of the major ones. But for me, and myself and I, if I'm going through Lincoln Cents, I can't just look at the major ones. I have to look at them all. So, because that's where major stuff gets discovered. Oh, farm dog. Yeah, I understand on a show you're not really gonna. Hey, there's another number 5 right there, another RPM number 5. And check and look at. Yep, it's got the markers, the heavy die scratches north and south through Liberty and behind the head. Also has a nice struck through right there on the back of the shoulder. Probably if I was just going through like let's just say wheat cents, and I was digging through wheat cents to build a folder full of wheat cents, and I was looking for all the different dates and mint marks to help me with that build, I probably wouldn't check every date and every mint mark for stuff. I'd only pull out the ones that had more of a potential, basically cherry picker guide potential. There's another split lower serif RPM. I start pulling these out. I started with the last one. There's another one in the stack that was not pulled out. Eric will catch it later, but it's really minor. It's only got a split lower serif, and it's really difficult to discern because of the die state. Die state on this thing is so late. Yeah, 1946S is a very good, substantial issue to be watching for die varieties. Not really sure about double die reverses, but there are some double die obverses, and there's a number of repunch mint marks, and there are in fact a few very, very nice mint mark style things going on. There's a ball serif mint mark, which none of these have been the ball serif mint mark, but there is a ball serif mint mark that is quite a bit rarer, quite a bit, well, not really rare, it's quite a bit more scarce. There's one for Ant here. Then the serif mint mark, which this is a member of the serif mint mark family. Serif mint marks meaning that they have the little triangles at the corners. And then a ball serif has a triangle at one corner and a round ball at the other. And the ball is at the top, the triangle is at the bottom, except in the instance where you have an inverted mint mark, which that's also possible, getting a ball serif mint mark that's inverted. This is another one of the small lower split serif RPMs, so there is that. Here's number 17 now for Deanne. So you can find the ball serif, which is much more scarce than the others, and then you've got the ball serif that's flipped upside down, which is way, way more scarce. So far in this bunch, all we have come up with is serif mint marks so far. But you never know. Now, it's my idea, or my thought anyway, that over a period of time, we're going to end up going to where grading companies will actually grade the different styles of mint marks. And there will be a registry just for the mint mark styles. I think that's going to be one of their next steps to go through. There we go. There's another number 5. RPM number 5. Nice RPM, actually. And so this is turning out to be actually a pretty good roll. Yeah, highly circulated coins, man, those things can be really, really difficult to tell. Unless you've got like a really good cherry picker listed die. You got a really good cherry picker listed die. Most of them are pickable in grades down to fine, very fine. Where it comes to Lincoln cents, you'll find coins that low in grade on a pretty regular basis. Half dollars, I'm not quite so sure that there are any fines or very fines out there. I think most of the half dollars are only lightly circulated, if at all. I got number 20. This one going to Calipigian. And Calipigian gets... and it's nothing. Nothing on this particular coin. Just kind of getting used to the different dies that we have in the roll. So far, there have been 2 or 3 different obverse dies that have really mushy details, late die state. One of them is an RPM. And then we've got an earlier mid die state example of RPM number 5. I've got, 4 or 5 of those so far. All the mint marks in this roll so far have been the serif style, which is this, the regular large-ass serif style mint mark. There are 2 other kinds of mint marks. There's a sans serif, which means no serif. And that's the one that just looks like an S that doesn't have any triangles or tails or anything. And then there's the ball serif, the one that has the ball on the top and the little trumpet tail on the bottom. That little guy can be scarce. Those little guys are hard to find. It's another regular large serif mint mark. Doing a count one time, I need to ask Brian for his numbers because he did it with an entire bag worth of coins, but I did like 50 or 60 rolls one time. And it turned out that my measurements called for roughly 38 to 40%. 38 to 40% were the large serif, and then just over that, like 42, 43% were the sans serif, and only 18% of the coins, only 18% were the ball serif. So the ball serif represents only 1/5 of the 1946 S. Lincoln cents minted. And of those, there is 1, maybe 2 different dies where the S was punched in the die upside down. They are findable. They are out there. They're just scarce. They're very uncommon. Mr. Fletcher now. Mr. Fletcher gets the next coin, and it is... yep, there's our late die state split lower serif RPM. How do the people's names land in the flip? Well, that's a really good newbie question, and I'll give you a really good newbie answer for it. They pay for them. During the reveal show, which is tonight, by the way, 7 p.m., we have a number of rolls that we are going to open, sitting out and ready to go. And you can purchase spots in those rolls on a shotgun start. We do a countdown and start the... oh, I should have put that one in the other stack. Okay. Do a countdown from 5. And then when we get down to go, everybody throws their wishes and wants out there at me all at once. And only the first 50 coins called for have a chance of, or only the first 50 calls have a coin in the roll. And actually, it's usually a lot less than 50 because you can buy a number of 3 maximum. A purchase of 3, of course, when you purchase 3, what is it, 16? 16 is 3 is 48, yeah. 16 people can get in plus 2 additional calls. Frosty gets him one of the minor RPMs as well. Here's number 28, Mark. Not only is it about the RPMs in the roll, but the double dice as well, which we don't happen to be finding now, and the possibility you could possibly even get a high-grade coin. I've been through a number of rolls. Out of the 570 rolls I've been through, where you can you end up getting a coin that's a good MS66 red or 67 red that would be a gradable coin. I find those infrequently, but I do find them. There's another split lower serif, late die state RPM. Well, copper owl coins, that kind of matters on what the date and mint mark of the roll is. Some of them are as little as $2 per coin, and they go as high as $20 to $25 per coin, but that's only in the really old, really scarce rolls. Most of them average between $2 and $5 a coin. There's another number 5. It's another RPM number 5 right there. And that one goes to Ant. A little machine doubling on the nose. There's our markers in Liberty. So to answer your question, most of them run between $3 and $5 per coin. They are as inexpensive as $2 per coin, and they can be as much as $20 to even $25 per coin. Those are kind of scarce. I don't do that very often. I think the last time I was above $20 a coin was when I did an original wrapped roll of 1943S. It's the very scarce ones like that that are the costly ones. This is a 46S. It's a $250 roll that I'm busting up for, I believe it was $7 per coin. There's another number 5. Another RPM number 5 right there. With machine doubling. So it looks like all of these are going to end up with a little bit of machine doubling on them. See, even that die scratch, that concentric die scratch, it shows above the space between the D and we, and then it shows again above the space and then trust. That is a die marker. That's a marker that you can actually use to ascertain what die you have. That one was for a Mickey, and we move on to Sureg now. And Sureg will get, oh, that's another one of the RPMs. It's one of the minor RPMs. Late die state minor split lower serif RPM. Now there's a few added bonuses that go with purchasing spots in a reveal. And the first added bonus is that when we go through the roll, we do it twice. We do it once on camera and then once off camera. When we go through it off camera, we separate every die out, and anything that is a die variety gets a brand new flip. Here's another one of those. It's a brand new flip, and the flip has the die number for that die. So your coin comes to you attributed professionally. And then if it happens to be new, a new listing, we annotate that as well. So your flip insert will say that it's a new one, and it will be a new for September of 2023. And then, regardless of whether the die is new or not, if we need your coin because of the condition or the die state of your coin, if we need your coin to add to the set of photos that go on coppercoins.com, we will photograph your coin, list your coin, give you credit for that listing, and when you get the coin, you could send it to Annex as a plate coin, and they will holder it as a plate coin. Plate coin being a coin used for the purpose of photographing for the website. That's a normal one right there. My initial intent when I was doing this, as most of the regulars know, was just to go through the coins and make sure that everybody knew that they weren't being cheated in any way, that I was going through the roll in order, and that I was opening a fresh roll each time, and that there was no favoritism or, Willy Wonka magic going on, that everything was right up on top of the table and everything was nice and straight. And then as time went on, I was doing these broadcasts. Some of them were at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. There's another one. Some of these broadcasts were like at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning because I didn't care if anybody actually showed up to watch live. I was doing it more of just a measure of proof, a measure of Chuck didn't cheat you, or Chuck sent you the coin that he said you were going to get. And if you had an argument that coin number 37 in reveal number 570 was not what you received, then we could go back and look at the video, and I could show you the actual marks on the coin that proved that I sent you the coin that I said you were going to get. That was my only real reason for doing it in the beginning. And then so many people started coming up and asking me, when was I going to broadcast this, or when was I going to do that show, or when was I going to do this one? I thought, well, okay, I guess this is a show now. So I had to start scheduling them for particular times, and well, sometimes that works out and sometimes it doesn't. This one was initially scheduled during the week last week, and then I skipped it forward a day and still didn't make it. And I think it was initially scheduled for Friday, and then I skipped it forward to Saturday, and I wasn't here on Saturday. Forgot that I had scheduled the show for Saturday, and came back in and was going to schedule it for Sunday, and decided that I had too much of a headache to do a broadcast yesterday. And then Sunday. Yesterday was the holiday, and I generally don't ever work on holidays. For whatever reason, I don't work on holidays. That's just one of the rules I made up. Nobody in my business works on a holiday unless they decide to. And so here it is. First working day after the holiday. I hope everybody had a great Labor Day weekend. Hope everybody was safe. Hope everybody came out of it in one piece as they went in. This is a really nice 1946S, real shiny, real bright looking coin. I hope it's relatively mark free and well struck. So far on the obverse it looks so. Let me check the reverse here real quick. Nope, it's weakly struck. It's a weakly struck coin. It's not going to get a really high grade. This is why, right here. There's a bunch of weakness there and weakness up here. 66 is probably the highest grade you could possibly achieve with this coin. This particular one looks like it's more like a 65. Not worth grading unless they're 67, because 67 is what's required to get it above the fee for grading in value. You'll never get a weakly struck coin through a grading service, a real grading service, in 67 grade. Just not going to happen. So there's another one of our RPMs. This is the second RPM in the roll. This is the one that is the lesser of the two RPMs, I would say. This one's for Taco. We got a stack of those things, man. Tell you what, we're going to end up with better than a third of the roll going out as RPMs. No double dice here, though. Here's another one, see? It's not highly common to see double dice in 1946S. There is a very nice one that shows up very well in Liberty, but it's on one of the ball serif mint marks, which we don't seem to have any in this roll, which would be a very normal thing not to have them, because they don't peek out very often. Okay. Got a normal coin here. This is that teardrop die chip above the L. First coin in the roll was one of these. And that coin is also one. It's good when you find repeats of particular dies in rolls, because that means that that roll was wrapped right after it came off to press together with the other coins. And this is a good reason why for that. See, you can see a split serif underneath and then a split on the top. That's another RPM that I have not seen yet, which means I could possibly have skipped one of these, because I'm convinced that this is an original roll. Given that it's an original roll, I should be finding multiples of each different die. So this one is probably also somewhere else in the roll. and is a third different mint mark, RPM, repunch mint mark. Alright, here's one for Jordan. I could swear this was a newer coin when I first looked at it because it just looked nice. It's not an RPM, not a double die. But you see how bright that's coming across? That's much brighter than a lot of these other coins in here. Has a decent strike on the reverse. Not great, but it's not real weak either. So it's a decent strike. Your first place is, oh, look at that. Big giant struck through. Struck through a big old piece of thread or something. Probably a shaving of metal because it seems it's like a wire brush bristle or something. Because it has more structure, I think, than a piece of thread would. That's really nice. That's a nice little struck through right there. But anyhow, on the strike, you can see how there's some weakness in the strike. Like on the top of the O and up in the PLU, pluribus. And then down here in America, you see just a little bit of weakness. But that's a typical strike. That'll get you a 65 or 66 grade. All right, Carl is up next. Carl. Yeah, it's got a mush lower serif, so I can't really tell what's going on with that. Decent looking coin, not great. That'll work nonetheless. So that's when I don't check all the coins, obverse and reverse, we run into situations just like Jordan's coin back here, where you have a decent little error that's nice and educational, but you don't see it because you're not looking at the reverses. And that does happen sometimes. Ah, here we go. This is a sans serif, and it's a RPM. There's a little split in the upper curve. But you can also see this S mint mark does not have serifs, top or bottom. It's just a plain S. What some people would call Gothic. It's simple. And so that one is going to be yet another RPM. So we have 4 different RPMs in this roll so far. We're down to the last 2 coins in the roll. This one's for Parvas. Let's see what we get out of this. Well, it's another sans serif. Another sans serif, but this one's not an RPM. And nothing else going on with this one. Do I have Copper Owl's info? I do not have Copper Owl's info. I know where Copper Owl is. He has a YouTube channel, but I would need a registration from Copper Owl in order for him to get into the reveals. Oh, look at that. Last coin in the roll, and it's a nice repunch mint mark on a sans serif. That's what I'm talking about. That's Jordan's right there. Jordan's going to get him a nice coin. Another nice one. That's 2 nice ones in this one for Jordan so far that I know of. And that's it for this roll. That's all I've got. Copper Owl coins, if you will send me an email. I'm not sure whether or not you registered before. But I'm going to type out my email address here for you. That's the registration email address. coppercoinspayments@gmail.com. Thank you, Mickey. And you can send me your name, your YouTube username, your email address, and your mailing address, and I'll get you registered. That automatically registers you so that you can bid on anything you want to bid on or buy anything you want to buy during any one of my shows. Makes you part of the family. Hello, Sand Digger. All right, so that's what we've got. Eric's going to be up here in about 30 minutes or 30, 45 minutes with another reveal. And we'll have those 2 reveals. Then make sure you stop back by at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. 7 p.m. Eastern Time today we'll have the reveal show. I'll get it scheduled here shortly. And we will sell the contents of a few rolls. and see what we can come up with out of them. I still have 3 reveals left to do for this week, and I will get those done during the week this week, along with the ones that I'll be scheduling and putting in tonight. So here's what we have out of this roll. We've got this many normal coins. So I don't know how many that is, but we're going to count the die varieties in this and see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 coins. So 20 die varieties and 30 normal coins in this roll. Dennis, I'll get something sent off to you here after I get done with this show. Okay, and that does separates the die varieties from the non-die varieties by the way they're stacked. And that is it for this show. I'll see you guys tonight at 7. Be sure you're here at 5:30 for Eric's reveal, and then 7 p.m. Eastern Time for the reveal show. I'll see you then.